Good morning, everyone. Scott here, as you can tell. We've got a couple minutes before we get some people logged in, and I wanted to take that time to share a couple of ideas that have been kind of part of the rolling into 2017. And a lot of the talk that you have heard from me leading into this year and starting off this year has been around this idea of Boardroom. And Boardroom is a place where we will be doing monthly project planning calls. And those projects typically, of course, because of the work that we do, is going to be on the sales and marketing side. And then mid-month, we'll be doing project update calls. And that's a place where we will celebrate success and progress that you're making on those projects, as well as identify any obstacles or anything that's slowing you down, stopping you from achieving the outcome that you want to achieve. And so what I want to do here, just in the first couple of minutes of this week's Sales Acceleration Call, is just share two items with you. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Give me a second. And I will do that. Okay. And share screen. Here we go. The first one is here. So this is my Scrum board. So a lot of you, especially on the software side, are familiar with this concept of Scrum. And in Scrum, what we're doing is we're setting aside a 1, 2, 4 week, kind of depends on your company and your process. We're setting aside a certain period of time that we want to be working in a sprint or a series of sprints to achieve an end outcome. And so the idea of Scrum here is what we're doing is we're setting up those big outcomes, like over the course of the next week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks. What is the big project outcome, or what is the big product in the engineering and software world? What is the product outcome that we want? And then we're breaking down that work that needs to be done into smaller and smaller tasks. So what you see here on your screen is the Scrum board that I use for project management here with my company, here with SalesQualia. And so I wanted to share this with you first to let you know that I did definitely eat my own dog food when it comes to this stuff. And more specifically, I wanted to just kind of give you a couple quick hints on how you might think about this as we are talking more about applying the concepts of Scrum to sales projects and ultimately rolling out this additional support to you in our monthly planning and project update calls as part of Boardroom. So this on your screen is live here. So I just did the image because I thought it would be a little bit easier than having me hold up my board. And so you can see there's just 4 basic areas on the Scrum board here. So there's the backlog. These are all of the tasks that I want to work on that I just haven't gotten to. Then I've got tasks that are planned. So these are ones that I know I will be working on in the next week or two, and have in many cases already allocated time in my calendar, in my schedule to do that work. In progress, these are projects or tasks that I'm working on in some way, shape, or form, whether I am personally working on these or these are tasks that I've given to my team of virtual assistants, web developers, researchers, anybody that works for me or works with me on my team. And then, of course, done. And those are the fun ones because you get to move the sticky over to done and say, I'm done. The thing you'll notice is that there are different colors on the sticky notes that I use here, the Post-it notes. And this is just a system that I use because as I look at the different tasks that I work on and my team works on each week and each month, they typically break down into a couple of different key areas. So the orange stickies that you see here, those are anything that related to sales and marketing. So if anything that I'm doing, obviously bringing in new clients, doing any marketing, setting up workshops, doing webinars, maybe I'm building out actually one of the in progress or one of the backlog projects is to do a series of case studies with client success that we've had over the past year, as well as a white paper. So anything that's sort of sales and marketing related, those are the orange stickies. And so I just keep a stack of those. And so whenever I have a new project and task related to those projects, then I just rip this off and stick it on the board for sales and marketing, right? The yellow tasks that you see there, the yellow Post-it notes, those are what are anything related to client work. So right now, most of those sticky notes are related to making sure that we're launching into 2017 effectively. We're launching Boardroom, for example. So I've got a lot of tasks and a lot of project work around making sure that that launch and our initial meeting on January the 16th, as well as every subsequent meeting that we're doing every couple of weeks throughout February, March, April, so on and so forth, goes really, really well. And so yesterday I actually did a 50-minute work sprint, so a daily sprint session where I focused for 50 minutes. I set the timer on my phone for 50 minutes. And in those 50 minutes, my task or the tasks that I was working on in that 50-minute sprint was 100% focused on preparing for that specific January 16th boardroom meeting. And so this brings me over to the second image here on the screen. And you'll see what I like to use. I use this butcher paper. Here's a roll of butcher paper. It's actually really cheap and really fun to work with. And I use big markers so that I'm away from my computer and I can kind of think creatively. It's kind of fun. Reminds me of being a kid a little bit. You're just drawing on paper, and it allows me to connect dots and move ideas around really, really quickly, much more so than in a linear process where you're typically typing, or the cumbersome environment of using, say, PowerPoint. So in this 50 minutes, a little less than an hour, basically what I did is I sketched out all of the ideas, all of the concepts that I wanted to make sure were part of that initial meeting. Then I sketched out an agenda that we're going to be covering over that first boardroom meeting. I talked about, I put together a little bit of a case study that we'll be working on together in Boardroom, that first meeting, to get you kind of acquainted with how these monthly project planning and monthly project update calls are going to be going. And then finally, I put together everything that I wanted to put into the meeting invite that went out to everyone to make sure that we had that booked on the calendar. So this is something that took me almost exactly 50 minutes. Actually, it took me like 48 minutes and 30 seconds or something when I got to the end, and I was like, okay, I think I've got everything I need. Then it took a few minutes to put together, to actually type out the meeting invite and then sent that out. So actually, roughly the work sprint itself was about 50 minutes, and then I had about 10 minutes of admin work to just type in the meeting invite that you received yesterday afternoon. So that's an example of a task, one of those yellow boxes actually here. I'm not sure if it's here. We're still listed as in progress on this photo. That is an example of a task or series of tasks that I was able to knock out in a daily work sprint session. So those are the yellow tags, anything related to client work. So the yellow or the orange are sales and marketing. Yellow is client work. The purple ones are anything related to the website. So my company website as well as the member website. So I kind of quarantined off website work because as separate from client-specific delivery work, mostly because I'm outsourcing a lot of that stuff. So while I might be doing content inventory and assigning tasks, most of that stuff I'm actually sending out to, I have 2 different people that do website work for me. I have an agency in Australia that I send tasks to, and then I have a fellow here in the Bay Area I've been working with for quite a while, and I send some stuff to him. So depending on the task, I send those out to different people. And so the purple Post-its that you see are website related work. And then you'll see there's just one white Post-it. That white is operations. So this particular one that's planned, let's blow that up real quick. You'll see it says admin center checklist. What that means is that I work with a virtual assistant team. There's 5 people that work for me based in Boise, Idaho. They're the people that support you, including Amber and Dawn and Ziva and everyone else. We had a meeting at the end of the year last year, and we kind of went through all of the different operational checklists that I have created over the past year to hand to them. And we realized that there's several that are outdated, some that need to be created. And so one of the big kind of projects or series of tasks that I need to do is go back and review those operational checklists and update the ones that need to be updated and create new ones that need to be created. So that's something I've actually planned for myself. I've blocked out an hour of time this afternoon, Friday afternoon, to begin work on that. So just thought it would be a good use of the introduction part of this week's Sales Acceleration Call to kind of talk through this. If you're new to the idea of sprinting and Scrum and project management, I think what you'll find is this will be a much, much more efficient way of getting things done. It'll help you block out time that you need to block out to get stuff done. It'll help you identify key tasks that you'll need to do in order to achieve a larger outcome. And we'll talk about a lot of this stuff in Boardroom, both in the kickoff meeting and of course every 2 weeks when we have those monthly project planning and monthly project update calls. But again, for those of you that are new or checking out this recording, I thought it would be a good idea to spend a few minutes giving you a sense for how I work from adapting Scrum, which is typically, again, software development, and how I've used it to kind of basically run my whole business, and how you can use it to run your sales projects. And especially if you're using Scrum on the product development or engineering side, then carrying over that culture into the sales side actually creates a nice continuity across the whole organization. So you have engineers and marketing and product and management and sales related people all talking the same language and all focusing on outcomes that are measurable in a 1, 2, or 4 week period. So that's it for now. I just wanted to share that. And so what we'll do here, let's go back to see if anybody is here for the weekly call. Give me just a second. So there's me, share my screen again. Let's hop over to this slide. By the way, you can see I'm using Zoom now, and really enjoying it. So let's do this. Oops. Okay, so it looks like still I am the first person here, so we'll just wait for a couple more minutes. I know I hopped on a bit early. So anyway, in the meantime, thanks for checking out that little presentation about work sprints and Scrum. I think you'll find it useful. And what I think I'll do is just have this part edited out and then blocked off separately, both on the member site on Facebook, so you can watch this aside from the recording on the questions that we'll get on this week's weekly sales acceleration call. So we'll cut it off here, and we'll see you in the next recording. Have a good day.